being used currently in the world. So you can imagine how many Android apps are being used, right? That will be probably even in billions. So we will be building one of these basic Android apps in this course and in the Kotlin programming language. So let's go to the next slide. So these are some of the prerequisites you need before starting Android development. So assuming you're in the right place, here are some of the prerequisites. Having basic computer literacy skills and math skills is recommended. You'll also need a computer and access to the internet to take the online course. It is also helpful if you have an Android device so that you can test your app, and a USB cable will be needed for connecting your phone to the computer. If you don't have an Android device, don't worry. You can still use your computer to emulate the Android device. So let's talk about the learning objectives. You will learn as a part of this new to programming track. First and foremost, the goal is for you to build your first Android app. To do this, you will have to install Android Studio on your computer, which is an application to build Android apps. I send the links for installing Android Studio on your PCs. You can go through those links and try to install it before the next session. Along the way, you'll also be exposed to programming concepts and the Kotlin language. At the end, we'll also talk about resources on how you can continue learning and building apps beyond this event. So on this slide here, you can see the official Google Android developers link where you'll be finishing all your tracks. So let me just show you the link. This is the official Google Android developers link, and I'll put this link in the WhatsApp group so that you can continue your tracks. Open the course page with this link and you'll automatically be awarded a badge for attending and participating in the Android study jams. So you can see here there are two tracks, the new to programming track and prior programming track. Since most of you are not aware of Kotlin language, we'll be focusing only on new to programming track. So you can click on this track and you can see that there are two units in this track, the Kotlin basics for Android unit and the layouts unit. And each unit, you have around 4 to 5 activities, and once you complete those activities, you will be able to earn badges that you can add to your developer profile. So let me show you the first unit. So in the first unit, you have 4 pathways. These are called pathways. So the first unit is about Android basics and Kotlin course. It's a free training course developed by Google for people like you to learn how to build basic Android apps. And in this unit, we have 4 pathways. All of this starts from basics, so you don't have to worry that you should know any concept of programming before. So in this track, we'll be focusing only on the first unit, which is shown here. So in today's session, I'll be covering only the first 2 pathways, Introduction to Kotlin and creating your first Android app. So you may be wondering what actually is a pathway. It's an ordered sequence of activity to learn a specific skill. An activity can be a video, a hands-on coding tutorial called a code lab, an article, or a quiz. So if I click on the first pathway, you can see there's a video, introductory video, and there are 2 code labs for you to finish, and a quiz at the end, so that you can test whatever you have learned in the course. And once you finish the quiz, you will be awarded a badge that you can add to Google Developers profile. And they will be saved in a Google Developers profile. And when you're taking the course, be sure that you sign with your email ID and create a developer profile if you haven't already. It's very quick to create. As you earn more badges, you can see them on your developer profile, and you can even favorite them as you wish. You can add these badges in your CV and even share it on a LinkedIn profile if you want to. So this is all about the official site where you'll be finishing your tracks. Yeah, I've just added these in the slides. You can view them after the session. So this is the today's schedule. We'll be covering some logistics and high-level introduction to the concepts of the first two pathways of Unit 1 to help you with the hands-on portion of the session later. The first pathway is introduction to Kotlin, and the second pathway is your first Android app. So you can work to these pathways and complete the labs and quizzes at your own pace after the session, and let me know if you have any questions. So let's go into the concepts. Uh, some of the important concepts in the first pathway is introduction to Kotlin. It's everything about learning the basics of Kotlin, which is a modern programming language that allows you to make Android apps. So what is Kotlin? Kotlin is a programming language that you'll use to build Android apps. It's a modern and a popular programming language known for helping developers be more productive. Kotlin allows you to be more concise while writing your code, and you can write safer code that is less prone to errors. As a result of many of the great language features, Kotlin has quickly gained momentum in industry. It is reportedly one of the fastest growing programming languages according to GitHub and ranked as the number fourth most loved programming languages among developers. So Pathway 1 is fully dedicated to helping you understand the basics of Kotlin. So to make it easier for you to write your code in the Kotlin Playground, in Kotlin, you will be introduced to something called as Kotlin Playground. It's a area where you'll be writing your Kotlin code, and you can compile and run your code as and when you wish. So I'll be showing you the Kotlin Playground. So this is the playground where you can write your Kotlin code, and clicking on this button will run your code. And you can see that the result of the code is shown at the bottom of the window. So you can see that I've written a basic program in Kotlin that prints hello world. So if you have been learning C++ or Python, you can correlate and understand quite easily what is happening. So I'll just explain to the students who are new to programming. So you can see it is written fun main println hello world. Fun is actually a keyword that stands for function. A function is a section of program that performs a specific task. Main is the name of the function. Functions have names so they can be distinguished from each other. This function is called a main because it is the first or the main function that is called when you run the program. Every Kotlin program needs to have a function named main. The function name is always followed by two parentheses, as you can see here. And inside the parentheses, you can put information for the function to use. The input to this function is called as arguments. Println tells the system to print a line of text. Println is used to print a line of text, and inside the parentheses, you have to put your text to be printed, always in double quotes. Double quotes is necessary because it tells the system that everything inside the quotation mark should be printed exactly as given. And if you don't put the quotation marks, you'll be able to see the error marked in red. You can see these errors. And then there's another command called print. Print basically is used to, if you do not want a line break, you will have to use print. So you can see that there is no line break between hello and hello world. And if you use println, the next statement will come on the next line. And then if you want to add comments to your program, you can use double slash. Whatever you write inside the comments will not be printed on the screen. It's just for providing information to users and programmers so that others can understand your code. You can add comments before you print or after you print as you wish. So I've added the recap on the slides. Errors are marked in red with some explanations. Print is used to print continuously without a line break. Println is used to print with a line break, and a double slash is for the inline comments. So let's go back to the Kotlin playground, and I'll show you how to store variables. So to store variables, we use a special keyword called val. If I write val age is equal to 15, Kotlin will recognize val to be a keyword, indicating that whatever follows is the name of a variable. Age is the name of a variable, and equal to is used to assign any value to the variable age. Uh, a developer would say it like this. This line declares a variable named age who is assigned the value 15. Suppose if you want to use this variable inside a statement, you have to use $sign followed by parenthesis. So I'll show you how to do that. If I run this program, you can see that in place of age, $age, you can see 15 is being printed. This tells Kotlin that I should not print age, but I should print the value that is stored inside the variable age. You can experiment with this. You can experiment the same with strings. Now, if you want to create your own functions, you can create your own functions in Kotlin. Suppose I want to print a border around this. I can write my very own function. And I can call this function whenever I want. Whenever I call this function inside the main function, the compiler will go back to the print border function and will print whatever is given inside it. So if I run this function, I can see it prints Sneha and then it prints whatever follows in the main function. Suppose you want to make this code even more concise, you can pass arguments to your function as well. Let me show you how to pass arguments to the function. So here I have declared another variable called border, and I pass this border as an argument into the function print border. Inside this function print border, I have already declared an argument which states that whatever I pass as a border, that should be printed. So I should change here to. This ensures that you can print any variable that you want by passing it as an argument. So I'll show you by running it. So you can see I have passed border into this function and that's why it's printing this. You can, so if you change any other value, suppose I change it as a $sign, it will be printing a dollar. This makes Kotlin really a concise way of, this makes Kotlin a concise language to use and implement. So let's go back to the slides. And I've added the recap here. So val is used to create the variables. Val age is equal to 5. And to print the value of the variable and not the variable, we use a $sign followed by curly braces. And inside the curly braces, you should print the variable name. And then you can define your very own functions using fun keyword. Fun is the keyword followed by the function name. Make sure you write function names that are easily readable. And you can pass argument if you want. This is optional. And you can print whatever you want inside the function. So this is a sample program I have written in Kotlin. So here also it uses the function print border. And here I've used a function inside the print border called repeat 25. Repeat 25 is going to print whatever is inside repeat 25 times. And I think the program is self-explanatory. I'll give you a minute to go through it.
Guys, if you have any doubt, you can either write it in the chat or you can just unmute yourself and say at any time, okay? There's a question from Johan who says, what is the difference between print and println? So the print statement, when you do print, it just prints and it doesn't attach the new line character in the end. If you do println, then the next which you print, the next line that you print, it will be printed in the next line. I think Sneha showed an example. Sneha, can you elaborate with an example?
Yeah, I'll show that again. So if I write println, it's going to print in two different lines. After println hello 15 hello world, it's going to automatically go to the next line and print the next statement. If I don't give println, you can see that there is no line break and the next statement will follow the initial statement. So that's the difference between print and println.
There's another question that can you show the syntax for adding arguments to the function?
Yeah, sure.
So, yeah.
So you can see here, inside the print border, you need to pass the argument border followed by its data type. It's a bit different from C++ and Python. Uh, First pass the data variable and then the data type. And here also you need to pass the argument. And if you want to print the same, you have to pass it to the print statement as well. So this program uses the border argument. And if you want to pass an integer argument, you just have to change string to int to refer to the integer argument. So
Okay, the next one says that use of /n to create a new line. So yeah, like if you put /n in double quotes, like inside double quotes, then that will automatically create a new line.
yeah, exactly. Yeah. I forgot to tell about that. This is /n can also be used as in when you require. Can use it inside print as well as inside println, and should be included within double quotes and automatically print on the next line.
One more says that is $sign necessary to print the variable? Instead, we just write the variable without double quotes.
Yeah, $sign is necessary. Otherwise, it would not. It will give you an error. Without $sign, I guess only curly braces age will be printed. It would not print the value of age. So if you want to print the value stored in age, you have to print dollar followed by curly braces, and inside curly braces, you have to mention the variable name. And same holds for any type of data type.
Okay, Aniket, I think your query has been resolved by Athar. Um, uh, if you don't add variable age, then does dollar brackets age get printed, uh, or it or it throws an error?
Yeah, we'll try it out.
If we don't add the variable age there.
Okay. I think it, yeah, throws an error.
No, not like that. Sorry, I meant that like print age comma then a string. Like age is a separate argument in the print statement. If you get me. If
Can
you
you
get
repeat it?
Yeah, like in not in the inverted commas before that or after that, like print,
Okay,
then
okay, yeah, I
age.
get it.
Yeah, and without the
Like
dollar,
this? Okay,
without
wait.
the dollar, and a comma, and remove the those curly braces. I think that should work maybe, and comma, comma. Yeah.
No, it
Oh,
doesn't work.
so mm, a plus maybe. Yeah, maybe a plus.
No.
Sneha, just a suggestion. Maybe you can share the link to this Kotlin Playground in the chat so that like everyone can try out
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, sure.
themselves.
I'll share.
Okay, so any more doubts? I think you can move ahead, Sneha.
Yeah. So these were the very basics of Kotlin language, and this will help you get started with making very simple apps. So till now you have learned the Kotlin language for Android development, and now it's time to put that knowledge into use in actually building an Android app. So we will be building our Android apps on Android Studio. So just a second. So this is pathway two. Create your first Android app. You will need to download and install Android Studio on your computer for this. This is the official tool that professional developers use for Android development. The instructions for installation are listed on the official site as well, and I've added the links too. It's really easy and a short process, and if you have any queries, you can contact me in case you face any difficulties. So, Android Studio is what you call an IDE, Integrated Development Environment. It's like a toolbox with many tools that help you write your Kotlin code and lay out how your apps will look on the screen. So you can design your app, build your app, run and test apps using Android Studio. On screen, you can see an image of Android Studio where you'll be writing your Kotlin code and building your apps. It's really advantageous because it checks errors in your code and provides suggestions as well as you code along. You can also physically run your Android apps on your phones using Android Studio, or there's also an option called an emulator where you can build a inbuilt software version of your app. I'll show you how to do that. So I hope some of you would have installed Android Studio. I've listed down the specifications for Windows 10 system here. Do install them at least before the next session because further pathways will definitely involve Android Studio and its tools. So let me show you how Android Studio looks like. So, so this is the page for Android Studio. Let's open a new project. Click on File, New Project. You can see a number of templates with varied features here. I'll just show you the templates. There's a navigation template. There is a full screen activity template. There's a Google Maps template here. There's a login template. So generally, when you log on to Amazon, Flipkart, or any app as such, you have an option to view your profile. So for designing that, we use this navigation drawer activity. Similarly, the Google Maps template is used for the Google Map one here. So uh, for building a very basic app, we'll choose an empty activity template. It's the simplest template that can be used to create an app. It has a single screen and displays a simple message, "Hello World." So let me click on this one and click on next. So in the name section, you can give any name to your app that you want. So let me give happy birthday. The name is the name of your app, and the package name here is the name used by the Android system to uniquely identify your app. Usually this defaults to the name of your organization generally. So you don't need to touch that, leave it as it is. And save location, you can save it wherever you want in your PC. And a language should be chosen as Kotlin because we are dealing here in Kotlin. And there's a minimum SDK option. Minimum SDK indicates the minimum version of Android that your app can run on. So there are lots of versions of Android here. And the recommended one is Android 4.4 KitKat. So it shows that your app will run approximately 98.1% of devices, and this is the most recommended one. And click on finish. So the Android Studio automatically create all the project files that you need for creating the app. So here you can see two windows. The first window is on the left side called the project window. It shows you all the files and folders, the app file, SRC file, Android test file, and all the folders. And this is your editing window. It's for editing your code. Message here in the bottom screen, you'll see if whenever you compile your code, you can see messages here and error messages. Also, you'll see in the bottom of the screen. So when we write a Kotlin code, you'll be able to observe the Gradle. So there are two files here. You can see activity main.xml and main activity. So activity main.xml basically deals with how your app will look. So you can see here, it prints hello world. Let me show the code for this. This is a code for printing hello world. So here you can see there's an option called Android text is equal to hello world. So if I change this, you can see that you can see the changes on the right side, and you can see layout width, layout height all correspond to the height and weight of the So yeah, I was talking about the app. So if I want to change the color of the app, you have an option to change that as well. So you can see the color has been changed here. So you'll be learning all these syntax in the further tracks. I'm just giving you an example how it looks like. Uh, Suppose you do not have a Android device to test your app, but you want to see how it looks on the screen. You can do that using Android Emulator. So in Android Studio, we have an option called Android Emulator, which can emulate various Android apps on your computer. The emulator allows you to run your app and provides almost all capabilities a real Android device would have. So I'll just explain you what it means. So go to Tools, Click on AVD Manager. Click on Create Virtual Device. So this will create a virtual device as you wish. So if you want a Pixel 3 XL device or a Nexus device, you have many options here. So let me click on Pixel 3A XL and click on Next. The Q is the system image, which is the most recommended one. So when you be doing Androids, when you will be installing Android Studio, make sure you click on the Q one and click on Next and Finish. And you'll be able to see an virtual Android device here. So next to app, you can see that my Pixel 3 XL has been listed. And this is the option to run the app. So let me run the app. I hope you guys can see a virtual Android device on the screen. You can create any software version as you wish and run it on your computer. It will simulate your configuration for a particular type of Android device, such as a phone. And then you can create your apps using this. Suppose if you do not have an Android device. So it's just loading.
Sneha, there are a couple of questions here. So, uh, Johan asks, like, can't we use emulator like
Yeah.
BlueStacks?
This is the emulator that is inbuilt inside Android Studio. I'm not quite sure what BlueStacks means.
Okay. Yeah, I think it would be like preferable if you use this emulator only.
Yeah,
Emulator is like it's just to see like a simulation of what exactly you're building. Hmm.
yeah,
Okay, what if I can't find an emulator for my phone? Uh, that's okay. Like, I think it will be just, it will look similar to, it's almost similar in all the phones, like mostly all the phones. And there are different, like, is it models too? There are many models there.
yeah. There are many models in that are
And if you
built inside the
choose
Android Studio.
one Galaxy, then if you have some other model of Galaxy, it would be almost similar. That shouldn't be a problem.
Yeah, that was my Pixel 3 emulator. Uh, Now I'll just go back to my slides and I'll show you. So I've showed you this, the project template and the empty activity template. You have to write your name as you wish and save it wherever you want and use the language as Kotlin and use the preferred Android KitKat model and build your project. And this was the emulator I showed you right now to run your app. So these are the steps. You can go through them in the slides. I hope this was clear, and let's jump into the fun part: how to run your app physically on an Android device. Like, how do you connect your Android phone into to your computer and run your app? So before you run your app, you have to make sure that option called USB debugging is on in your respective phones. So I'll just show you a short video what it means. So give me a second. Before you connect your device to your computer, you have to make sure you enable USB debugging option in your smartphone. So this is a short video demonstrating that. I'll just play it so that you can understand.
Sneha, your screen isn't visible.
Yeah, one second. Is my screen visible?
No.
Not yet. Yeah, now it's visible.
Yeah, I'll be showing you that USB debugging option. Is the audio of the video audible?
Yes, it was audible to me. I think it's audible.
Okay. So these are the steps that I just showed you in the video. This is to enable USB debugging to connect your Android phone to your computer. So you need an Android phone and USB cable for this. The USB cable could be the wire of your charger, and connect your Android phone to your computer using the USB cable. Go to settings, search for about phone in the bottom of the screen. Tap on about phone and tap on build number 7 times. You have to enter your password if you have one. Otherwise, you can just scroll back to your settings. And now you can see that a developer options will be visible, which was not visible before. Go click on developer options and then turn on USB debugging. So with this, you will be now able to connect your smartphone to your computer and run your Android app. So I have a video demonstrating that too. So this is the USB cable. This could be the wire of your charger. Connect a USB cable to your Android device and connect the other part of this to the computer. In the Android Studio, go to Tools, click on SDK Manager. Click on SDK Tools. Click on Google USB driver and click on OK. Click on OK. Wait till it downloads and click on Finish. You can see that my Android device is listed here near the app. Click on Run App. You can see the app which will come on the screen. It is a simple app that prints Hello World. So this is the US. So this was all that we learned today. I hope you found it interesting how to run your Android app. I know it would have been a bit overwhelming because you can always I'll be sharing the video and slides. You can go through the steps and see the video again if you are stuck anywhere. And if you try it on your own, I'm sure that you'll be able to run the very same app which I showed you in the video by connecting your Android device. So this was all about session 1, and session 2 would be about building a basic layout, that is images and text to your app, and how to add a button to your app. In these two pathways, you'll also be learning about different concepts of programming like functions, conditionals, and classes, objects. You'll be learning those concepts as well, and you'll also learn how to add the layouts and images to your Android app. So this was all from me. And if you have any questions, I'd be happy to answer them. I'll be adding the link to the Android developer site in the WhatsApp group. You can go to that link and finish the first 2 pathways that we discussed today.
There are a couple of questions there in chat. So is Java better or Kotlin when using Android Studio?
Yeah, so Java was predominantly used to make apps. Like it was used since more than 10 years. Then recently only Kotlin was introduced as the official language because it's more concise and there's less boilerplate code in that. You don't have to repeat codes, and you also have an option of debugging in the Android Studio, which makes it much more easier. But I would recommend going with Kotlin because it's easier. But you can also use Java for the same.
Another question asks that is Kotlin object oriented?
Yeah, it is object oriented. You'll have the same concepts of like you must have studied in C++, like classes and objects. So it will have the same thing in this, but the syntax will be different. That's all. It is object oriented.
Any more question, guys? दो मोबाइलों को भी करे तो कोई नुकसान तो नहीं होगा मेरा क्या like you want to Nishant, can you please specify?
I don't think you can connect two mobiles if you're asking the same.
Specifications which are recommended to run this application.
If you're asking for the Android Studio one, then I've mentioned it. But if you're asking for any Android phone, it will probably run, as far as I know.
Can we use Python also?
No, you can't use Python to make an Android app. It's either Kotlin or any version of Java.
Okay, Android Studio doesn't need 12 GB RAM.
I'm not sure.
The slide you mentioned, but I think it will work fine with 8 GB or something too, because I have used it on 8 GB.
Yeah, it should work fine. It's mentioned 12 GB, but I guess it will work fine with lesser too.
It will just hamper the speed.
Yeah, exactly.
So will you please share us the recording? Yes, we will share the recording as well as the slides. What if I don't know any programming language? So, Satvik, this program is for specifically for no prior programming language experience. So, when you go through the learning pathways, you will get to learn the language step by step. And if you have any issue, any problem, then you can contact either me or Sneha anytime. And you have to start learning somewhere, so it's good that you start now. i5 processor or i7? Fine, I think both will be fine.
Yeah.
That won't be a problem. Does Kotlin run in Microsoft VS Code?
Uh, yeah, it'll run. It'll. I was using Atom, but you can. Yeah, I guess it should run in VS Code too.
When is the next session? Anish, we will inform you about it. We don't have a fixed date yet because the NSEMs are also approaching, so we'll inform you accordingly. Which programming language do you suggest for beginning? Actually, programming language depends a lot on what you what you are interested in doing. For beginners, if you want to learn like the how the functioning is all and functioning and all loops and all, then Python is good because the syntax is easy. But like for Android, you should begin with Kotlin, and if you're more into competitive programming, you want to do competitive programming, then I think C++ would be better because it's faster. So it depends. But if you are like if you're just beginning, like you don't know anything about it, then I think Python is good because the syntax is easy. Okay, so yeah, we'll shift the timing. I didn't know about it actually. From next time, we'll uh, first clarify with you all if you're free and all, and then we'll keep the session.
So, any more questions?
Another question which asks, how do we publish apps? Where do we do it? I think you mean the Google Play Store or something.
Yeah, so that is what will come in the next few pathways. Like once you are thorough with the Android Studio syntax and the Kotlin syntax, once you make a full-fledged app, you'll be publishing in the Google Play Store. Uh, and yeah, that will be the future pathway. So I'll let all of you know how to do that.
Okay, so I think we can wrap up now. If you have any questions, if you want to discuss anything at all, you can. We have the group. Okay, one more question. Can you explain more about the developer's account, Sneha?
Yeah, the so I'll be sending you the link, right? Go to that link and it will ask you to sign in with your email ID. When once you sign in, if you haven't created a developer's profile, you just have to enter. It will prompt you to enter your details, like your name and your email ID. So that will just be sufficient to create a developer's profile, and that you can use for future events as well. So yeah, I'll just add the link, and you can create your own developer's profile. It's just a profile to where you can add your badges related to all DSC events like the Android Study Jam event or the Google Cloud event. Once you earn badges, you can add those badges on your profile. So that was about developer's profile.
Yes, it's suggested that you use your IT Goa email ID only, so it will be better if you use that. Okay, I want to learn DS Algo, so which programming language should I choose? So if you have no idea about programming, I suggest go for Python. But if you know basic syntaxes like loops and some if else statements and all, then you can go for C++ or Java. Either, both of them are fine because they're just faster. Like if you DS Algo, by DS Algo, if you mean competitive programming. Uh, I hope that clarifies your doubt. Okay, so I think yeah. So let's wrap up now, and so we'll keep you informed about the like further sessions. We'll post it on the group, and you can put up any query, any discussion. If you want to discuss among yourself, that then too you can do on the group. So that would be good, and you can the link will be shared. You can start working on the pathways, and all the best. Happy learning. Chalo. Thank you for joining, everyone. Thank you, Sneha. It was an
Thank
amazing
you.
session.
Thank you
Yeah.
for joining. I hope you guys had fun. Please try out all the steps clearly. I know it was like a bit overwhelming, but do try out and yeah.
Bye.